the Inspectable God. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, on the 10th of this month, every man shall take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. Exodus 12, verse 3. On the day that most of the world now call Palm Sunday, Jesus rode into the city of Jerusalem to the delight of adoring crowds who wanted to crown him as king. The tragic irony, of course, is that just a few days later, the adulation of the masses would change to mockery. But for one day, they could not get enough. It was Passover season, and the city was packed with observant pilgrims who would sacrifice a spotless lamb on the 14th of the month to commemorate that night. The league of death passed over homes where the blood of an innocent lamb was smeared above the doorpost. Each family chose the lamb several days in advance and tied it to a stake, putting it on display for neighbors to inspect. Was it really the best they had? Free of blemish and fault? The lambs were chosen on the 10th of the month and kept on display until the 14th. It just so happens that the Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world, rode into the city on the very day when families were busy with the business of selecting a lamb to put on display. The whole process had been anticipating this very moment. Heaven putting its lamb on display for the nation to inspect. And for the moment, they deemed him worthy with loud hosannas. After his arrest, when the high priest asked Jesus about his doctrine, Jesus was able to say, I spoke openly to the world. I always taught in the synagogue and in the temple, where the Jews always meet, and in secret I have said nothing. Why do you ask me? Ask those who have heard me and what I said to them. Indeed, they know what I said. It had been true throughout Jesus' ministry. God had put himself on full display for our inspection. It was especially true of his last week. Even though 20 centuries have passed since that triumphant ride toward the cross, Jesus, your Passover, remains on full display for you in the pages of the Bible. The decision left to you is whether you will deem him worthy and crown him as your king.